morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we need to take a look at a whole bunch of new full art supporters. You see, it was... Now, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know exactly who found this. It was shared with me by the lovely Stephen Kenty of Playscape Games. Make sure you check them out. Facebook, YouTube, etc. It was just kind of posted on Facebook. Now, this appears to have come from the Hong Kong portal. It's been actually live for a little while now. But it has been found, and these are Chinese cards. We do see this occasionally. Very occasionally, cards will leak out in Chinese, and essentially they are, well, coming out in the future. Now, what's interesting about these is that some of these have gone and been released over in Japan, and some of them have not. So we've already seen Piers, and we've already seen Marnie, and we've already seen Skylar, but the other 5 there are brand new full art cards that we haven't seen before, and a powerful colourless energy that we've seen many times. Now, the question is, where are they actually coming? And I cannot tell you for absolute certain until tomorrow, but I believe rather strongly that these are going to be in Shiny Star V. Could be wrong, of course, but I'm feeling pretty good about them being in Shiny Star V over in Japan. Now, if they are in Shiny Star V over in Japan, then that would suggest rather strongly indeed that they are going to be in this 25th anniversary set we're getting in February that we don't know a huge amount about. Still need some confirmation on that, how true that is, etc. But that very much seems to be what's going on here. Seems like they'll be in Shiny Star V, and then they'll end up being in our anniversary set. So let's take a quick look at the ones we've not seen yet. And honestly, not in terms of playability, but one of the most interesting ones here for me is Pokekid. Now, we've seen Pokekid before. Pokekid came out in Sword and Shield. It lets you search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. It's not a particularly good card, and it doesn't see a particularly large amount of play. It's fine, we see it in theme decks occasionally, people will use it. Being able to search for any Pokemon whatsoever is awesome, but let's just say it's not usually good enough to warrant using your supporter. Here's the thing though, when I looked at this I went, well, hang on a second, this is kind of interesting. Because the regular art version, the Pokekid is dressed as a Pikachu, and in the full art, the Pokekid is dressed as an Eevee. Well, the lovely Primal Lugia of PokeGuardian.com has gone and reminded me that in Generation 8 at least, Pikachu suits are worn by boys, and Eevee suits are worn by girls. So we've gone and evened it up there, which I think is absolutely lovely. I adore the card from an artistic standpoint. From a playability standpoint, let's say it's more of a binder card than anything else. Now, Caralis is one of these that I am very excited about in the future, that I think could end up being really good. Of course, remember that the fossils in Generation 8 are weird mashups of 2 different Pokemon, and Caralis, of course, Careless. I enjoy that little joke, that little pun, that makes me kind of happy. But it's a supporter card that lets you search your deck for 2 rare fossils and put them straight onto your bench and then shuffle your deck. We've had Pokemon Research Lab for a little while now. That is a stadium card that lets you search your deck for 2 Pokemon that evolve from rare fossil and put them onto your bench, though that does end your turn. And I don't know if we've necessarily got the fossils at the moment to make some kind of big, uber amazing, game-breaking, wrecking fossil deck. But I do think that it is a very cool card, and I do think that if we do get any good fossils at some point in the future, cards like this are going to be what makes them good. Now, we're getting a full art Ball Guy, and I like full art Ball Guy. I think it's a cool looking card. Partly it's because it's got Quick Ball on, and I am a sucker for a nice Quick Ball. However, this gives me a lovely opportunity to issue a little bit of an apology. You see, ladies and gentlemen, when I showed you Ball Guy before, I unfortunately, and this is completely my fault, I gave you the wrong translation. And that is on me. You see, it turns out Ball Guide does not let you search for free cards with ball in their name, free item cards. It lets you search for free different item cards with ball in their name and put them into your hand. And that is very different. Now, what I said about the card before still holds true. I still think you're going to go and get yourself a quick ball, and I think you're going to get yourself a great ball. And then, if you're playing Ball Guy, maybe you do play a one-off Pokeball. Yeah, it's flip a coin. But hey, if you flip heads, you get to grab any Pokemon. That's pretty cool. Certainly in decks playing Dedenne, you should be playing a one-off Cherish Ball. So essentially, turn one, you grab yourself, or if you find Ball Guy, you search for a quick ball to grab a basic, great ball to grab a Pokemon from the top 7 cards of your hand, and then you grab your one-off Cherish Ball to go and get yourself a Dedenne. I like this. I think it's a really, really cool card. I'm kind of a fan, if I'm honest with you. And it is nice to be able to issue that correction. Let's be perfectly clear. It was not the lovely Antoine Boulet that got the translation wrong. Antoine got the translation absolutely correct, as Antoine tends to do. This was me completely misreading it. And there's no good excuse, incidentally. There's no, hey, well, this is confusing. No. I just completely blanked when I made the video. I even read it right the first time. I just became an idiot when I made the video. Having said that, I do make a lot of Pokemon videos. There will be the odd mistake here or there, but I will always make sure I pin a comment like I did for the Ball Guy video and correct it when appropriate, like I'm doing here. I really like Ball Guy as a card. I think you've got to obviously be playing a selection of different Pokeballs, and I think at the moment you could make a strong argument that it's only really Quick Ball and Great Ball that see a lot of play, so maybe actually being able to search for free balls when most people only play 2, and they've all got to be different, is not ideal, but make no mistake about it, especially if we get more Pokeballs in the future, this is gonna be awesome. Now, another rather cool one we're getting here, a very interesting one indeed, is Gym Trainer, and the reason that's interesting, we don't have this card yet. This is a card that was a card given out at tournaments in Japan. It has not been made available over here. Now, it was a participation prize for sealed tournaments, so everybody who rocked up got one. They're not terribly rare in Japan if you could get to those tournaments. Not one of these trophy cards, which is nearly impossible to get hold of. But let's just say we've not had it over here yet, which does, of course, raise an interesting question as to if this full art is in Shiny Star V, and then we get it in our 25th anniversary set, does that mean that we have to get the regular version as well? Incidentally, I think it does, otherwise that would be weird. Having said that, it's not a phenomenal card. You draw 2 cards, and if any of your Pokemon were knocked out during your opponent's last turn, you draw 2 more cards. Drawing 4 is good, and it's not something we are able to do automatically. There's always a downside to drawing 4, but I'll be perfectly honest with you here. If you've had a Pokemon KO the previous turn, most of the time, I would rather just use Rosa. Gets me a Pokemon, gets me a trainer card, gets me a basic energy. Most of the time, I would rather have Rosa. But still, it will be interesting if we only end up having the full art version of this to use. I suppose we'll have to wait and see. And the final one here is Bird Keeper. And I'm afraid there's no fancy story behind Bird Keeper. There's no weird quirk or fact like there are for most of the others. It is just a full art version of a card we got in Darkness Ablaze. Having said that, Bird Keeper is a switch that lets you draw 3 cards. Bird Keeper is seeing more play than the others are, or are likely to see at least in the near future. Obviously, we've got all of those cards running around like Swanna that let you attack for free if you have played a Bird Keeper from your hand this turn. Swanna does 140 as long as you discard a card from your hand, which I personally think is rather spiffing. So we like Bird Keeper, and I think there's a rather lovely chap called Toby who is going to definitely want to get this. And the artwork is absolutely lovely and adorable, so you know what? I'm kind of alright with this, ladies and gentlemen. I'm kind of alright with this. But now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to hear from you guys. I want to know what you think about these cards. I want to know if you noticed whether the Gym Trainer regular promo is in the Fire Gym, but the full art is actually over in the Grass Gym. Let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.